Hello, hello. Happy New Year. Thank you guys so much for listening to the Gig Economy podcast. You're going to be hearing not the best of the Gig Economy podcast. I just went through some of the older episodes from this year and just pulled some clips. So, hey, have a great New Year. When are we going to see when is this dropping? Oh, this is going to be dropping January 6th. So, we'll be back on the 8th for our live show. So I hope you had a good New Year. I hope you made lots of money. And I'm really looking forward to shows, recording shows. It's funny I say that because I'm recording this for the 6th, but I'm not really looking forward to new shows. I'm really looking forward to having 2 weeks off from work. But anyways, I digress. Thanks again for supporting the show and enjoy this episode. Wants to talk to you about this picture. And, sometimes you want to move a conversation along, and sometimes you're telling a story. And even I find myself, all this stuff sometimes you put in the middle of a story means absolutely nothing. That adds nothing to the story. Mm-hmm. This adds nothing to the story and or whatever. So Gabe, you want to read that?
So a rider, I guess, ordered a ride, and the driver showed up, and they said that they were using the restroom number 2. I'll be out soon. Thank you. The driver responded with, okay. And then they said, thank you. And then they continued 2 more minutes, wiping now. My apologies.
So why?
It's too much.
Yeah. I wish I could know who the original poster of this is, so I can be like, did you continue the conversation? I always feel like it's same with videos. Somebody's videotaping something and they cut it off at the worst fucking time. It's just like, why didn't you just keep recording? I mean, you're obviously recording, so maybe there was more. But what did we say we have a chat where we share all these stories? I mean, that'd be an automatic cancel.
Yeah.
Automatic.
Like why would you order a ride and then go to the bathroom?
I mean, I'll tell you, somebody with Crohn's, even if I ordered the ride, I'd be like, I'm clenching my butt cheeks because I'll just go wherever you know what I mean? I'm not going to just go to the bathroom when I got a driver come. Or I'd just cancel.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only thing that I can think of that would justify it is I know that there's been times when it seems like the app is kind of lagging.
That's true.
I'll get there and the person will come out and they're like, oh, I'm sorry. It said, you were 15 minutes away still, or 10 minutes away. And, that's happened enough that I don't think they're BSing me. So that could be the only reason. But yeah, if you're ordering a ride, I'd make sure I'm all good to go before I ever place the order.
Yeah. Well, the funny part is the dude or female was so polite. Thank you. My apologies. I'm wiping now.
I would have been good with a, hey, I'll be out in just a few minutes.
Well, yeah, you're normal.
That would have been fine, right?
Exactly. We've all gotten that. Hey, be there in just a minute.
Yeah,
or a couple minutes.
Or I've gotten a text that says, "Oh, you showed up way sooner than what it said. Give me a few minutes." Like Larry, I've had people say that, or they've come out and they're like, "I am so sorry. It said you're 5 minutes away still." Yeah. I just think that there's a level of TMI, and that's too you could have just said, I'll be out in a minute. It didn't need to go further with I'm going number 2. I'm wiping now.
Yeah, like we said, it did not add anything to the conversation that needed to be added.
Yeah, I would have taken the sorry I fell into a bush before I would have taken this.
Yeah, I remember. I like the ones where I get I'm taking somebody to a bar and then I get a request and it's from somebody at that bar, to pick them up, and so you're you just drop somebody off and they put the put the request in and you're already there. Yeah, and they're like, holy cow, you got here quick. I'm like, hey, I'm good.
Yeah, have you ever get somebody, speaking of the lag, do you ever get somebody that gets fussy when they get in the car and oh, I ordered the ride and it said 5 minutes and then you were here? I often wonder if it's truly the lag or you just you were doing other things, you didn't realize it. But they get in the car, they're all fussy. And it's like, geez.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of, especially those late night ones when they don't realize how much time has passed.
Yeah. Well, definitely if they're drinking.
But then you get the ones like I had. I think that one I shared with you guys where I got it and they're like, we need to catch our bus. Can you speed up a little? And I was like, I'm stuck in traffic. And then I was like, you know what? No, I'm going to just cancel it. So I canceled it because I wasn't even going to deal with it.
Yeah. automatic cancel and stuff like if you're gonna be like, because it's gonna be a problem, right? They're gonna be fussy regardless of what you do. Even if you did speed there, it wouldn't have been fast enough. And
yeah, and it's annoying when they like you're in the especially like if you're in the middle of a ride with somebody else and they call you.
Oh,
where you at? Where you at? You
I
know?
will not.
Well, I'll tell you where I'm not at. I'm not picking you up. That's not where I'm going to be.
I've had somebody, they called and I sent it to voicemail, and then they called again, and then I sent it to voicemail, and then they message, and it pops up on the screen, and they're like, I'm trying to call you. Where are you? And I'm like, I don't respond. I drop off the person. I'm like, well, I was giving you another ride as your app showed you. I'm on my way now.
Yeah. I'm not going to answer the phone when I've got passengers in the car, and I'm not going to be texting when I have passengers in the car. So yeah, I'm not responding to you.
Yeah, it's annoying. I fucking hate that. And it's not safe to do that anyways. You're driving.
No, definitely not.
I would hate it if my driver took a phone call. I don't care who it's from. Like, unless it's an emergency, and as a driver, like, if someone, I mean, I guess you don't know it's an emergency, but when you have to take a call or whatever. But
yeah, like if your kid never calls you, and then all of a sudden they're calling, and you're like, I got to take this.
Right.
For sure.
Yeah. All right, moving on, Larry. Let's talk about this. I read actually most of the articles for you guys too, so I read this one. I was kind of excited to talk about it.
Yeah. So this article about Uber has an event, spring product event. They have these where they'll announce some of the new things that they have coming out or released in. So here's a couple of things that they announced at their spring event. One of them is the ability to call for a shuttle, like if it's going to a sports stadium, a concert, an airport. So they're partnering with local fleet providers to use shuttles, which will seat between 14 and 55 riders. You can book them up to 7 days in advance, and riders will pay right in the Uber app. So it says users who are able to book up to 5 seats on each shuttle will be able to track the location of their vehicle in the Uber app within 25 minutes of departure time, and it generates a QR ticket that's validated by the driver when you board. So, that I'm sure there'll be people who will use that to, for, like I said, big events, concerts, things like that. Instead of having, just 3 or 4 people going, you can take a lot more.
I do like the range of 14 to 55 seater.
Yeah.
You're basically going from like a small van, not small, but a transport van to basically a school bus.
Yeah, no doubt.
I just thought that was funny.
And the next thing I announced is Uber is now going to let users schedule shared rides in advance. We all love the shared rides, don't we?
Oh yeah.
I've had one.
Have you? I had a couple, like when I was first starting and didn't know better. They had it in Nashville. They never had it here in Bowling Green, and I'm sure they never will. But before I knew what I was doing, I was still green rookie. I took a couple of those in Nashville, and it didn't take me long to figure out, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
No thanks. But
no thanks.
Says that they're going to start this off testing out in some of the cities that have experienced some of the highest return to office rates. People heading back to the office after COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Says their hope is to target commuters who can reserve their seat in cars on the way to work. They want to increase the number of commuters who return using Uber as a daily habit. So,
I mean, how much cheaper is a shared ride? Is it like,
is it
half? Is it a quarter? Like, I don't know. Just to me, it's like, why would you want to deal with other people's crap?
I didn't see a difference that I got paid, but it saved them money.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
It definitely saves them money. But I don't know. I've never
like a
seen
couple dollars.
I was gonna say, because who's gonna do it out of the goodness of their heart? I mean, of course, we wish people would, but to save the environment. But like, really, people's doing it to save money. But if it's like $2 or $3, I'm not doing it. I'll pay the $2 or $3.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I don't want to be sharing. Yeah, when I'm riding, it's different when you're driving. You have strangers in your car. If I'm the passenger, I don't want anybody. I don't want any strangers in the car except the driver. It says they're going to bring it back to New York City, Los Angeles, Chicago, San Francisco, San Diego, and Atlanta before they're going to test it there and then expand it to more cities down the road.
Okay.
All right. So the next one is. You got something else you want to add?
They're just the scheduling part, right?
Hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
I would say because I have Uber X Share here.
Yeah, just the scheduling. That's what they're talking about. So the next thing I announced is it's called Uber One for students. So it's a discounted membership program. They're trying to attract students who may not want to pay for the full Uber One. So Uber One's for students is just $4.99 a month or $48 a year. They get 0 delivery fees on their Uber Eats, and they get up to 10% off rides or off of orders. And then I also get special deals and free items, it says.
I mean, that's a good deal for the 0 delivery fee, especially if you're a college student.
And if you order a lot of food, and up to 10% off orders.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's worth it. Now, what is the Uber One normally? Isn't it $10.999? So it's
$9.99.
Yeah. So it's half off. So
yeah,
I think that's good. I think a lot of people take advantage of it, especially I know how we've talked about the 0 delivery. It's like everyone sees the 0 and they get excited. But if you really look at your receipt, they're nickel and diming you some other ways. They may not be giving you a delivery quota, charge, but they're gonna add $6 to the expenses somehow. But so
yeah, they're gonna make their money, that's for sure.
Yeah, but it's still, I think it's great for college kids because they're just like, hey, 0 delivery fees. We know you're gonna order. We know you drink a lot. There you go.
Yeah, and you see a lot of companies do that. And you can get Amazon Prime real cheap when you're a student, and you can get like Microsoft Office and things like that real cheap when you're a student. So
yeah,
there's kind of along the same lines there. But yeah, I can see that be a good value for a lot of students for sure.
Yeah.
The students that aren't on mom and dad's account already.
Yeah, you know who they are too. They're the ones that take the half-mile Uber rides, and when it's a nice weather outside instead of walking their ass to the bar.
Yeah. Well, we don't care, right? You're on your parents' dime or yours. Just make sure you pay me.
Yep. And it's those are good when you're trying to hit those ride bonuses, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Get those short rides. All right, the next one's Costco delivery. So Uber Eats is adding Costco to its delivery program. So people who are ordering don't have to have a Costco membership to order from the store. But if you do have a Costco membership, then you can put it in and you get an additional but undisclosed discount. I like that, but undisclosed discount.
So I wonder if, Gabe, as the resident Instacart shopper at Costco, is it going to work the same where Uber Eats drivers are going to line up and sit there? And I mean, that's going to put a little bit of a damper on
in the parking lot.
Honestly, I've been thinking about it since you were reading it, and I was scrolling and looking. I don't know, because that's the thing. Like, the Costco people are already shitty with Instacart shoppers, right? And like, they struggle to get the store open on time now, and they might have like 2 where they've shopped the order and the customer's coming in to pick it up, and they don't have the space for it. I don't know, how all the Costco's I've been in, there's limited space in the front. You check out and then it's like the food is right there, and then the tire center's right there, and then the line to the doors. So it'd be interesting to see. I do like how they try and say, if you don't have a Costco membership, you don't have to have a Costco membership now to go through Instacart.
Right. Oh, yeah.
So, right. And if you do have one, you just get more money depending on the level of your membership.
Right.
So it'll be interesting to see how many people actually utilize it.
I mean, if somehow they can get a better price or a discount through Uber instead of Instacart, they're going to go through Uber. They don't probably really care. I'm sure there's some loyalists to Instacart, the app. They really like it or whatever. But you're going to get people that if they can get it cheaper through one platform or another, for whatever reason, they're going to go to that one just because it's cheaper.
I guess it also depends on the market too. Mm-hmm. Because I've seen some people that like 898, orders that they've ordered on Instacart. Like they
that's
order
true.
Every week or a couple times a week.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know some of those people, they get the shopper that they like, and that's the only person they want to do their shopping, and that's not going to happen with Uber Eats.
No.
Right, for sure.
Okay, moving on. The next thing they announced, last one that we'll be talking about, is called Uber Caregiver. Caregivers will be able to book other people rides to doctor's appointments, purchase medical supplies and over-the-counter items, and order groceries through Uber Caregiver starting this summer. Says the company, which is starting off with the rides functionality, will apply insurance benefits when eligible in an effort to minimize out-of-pocket costs. So they're going to start out doing the rides, and then eventually they're going to be turned on where you can order medical supplies and stuff like that, and groceries as well, all through this Uber caregiver.
Yeah, I read that too, and it looks like obviously Medicaid or Medicare and stuff like that for underprivileged people and stuff, and old people. And then it said privatization. So I'm wondering if our insurance companies will, like, for someone like maybe us, I mean, yeah, we have some health issues, but we're obviously perfectly capable of getting ourselves to an appointment and get our medications. But I wonder if it'll be offered to us, or you have to have a different, like, you have to be old enough or have to prove that you're disabled or something. I don't know. I'm just saying because it said privatized insurance too. So
yeah. So yeah, I'm sure there'll be some guidelines or something like that you have to meet.
Yeah, but I like it. I mean, I know everyone's like always so shitty with Uber, but like I like that they're, I like that they're doing things for the community. I mean, people need rides, and
I mean, I do a fair amount of hospital or doctor's appointment rides already. Just because one of the places that I tend to sit when I'm not given a ride is kind of close down to our hospital, and there's a huge clinic right next door and a lot of medical stuff down in that area. So I end up getting a lot of those rides.
The problem with those, though, is you're never going to get tipped because it's through the hospital. If they take that power out of and give it to the customer, you know what I mean? Maybe we'll see some more tips. But every time I see one of those, I'm like, well, I'm not getting tipped.
Well, I would say less than 50% of mine are booked through the insurance company.
No,
it's just people. Are not booked through there. So
okay.
The people are getting it, but they're going to the doctor or
gotcha.
For an appointment, thing like that. But yeah, you're not going to get a tip when the insurance company is booking it. That's for sure. But you also, usually these people are pretty calm, and they're not going to be rowdy, causing problems for the most part either.
That's a good point. Never thought of that. Most likely they just want to get home because they were at a doctor's appointment. Hey
Jethro, you want me to break your other leg? You calm down back there.
Hey Jethro. Oh my gosh. Well, that was great. I was not expecting that. So Larry, I don't know about this Uber and T-Mobile. Well, it didn't mention, maybe the article did, but I don't even think it mentioned Octopus, did it?
It mentions by their name, Octopus Interactive, the company name.
Oh, okay.
So we were both kind of sad to hear this, I think, because we're afraid they're going to F it up. But anyway, Uber has gone into a partnership with T-Mobile and the Octopus Interactive, which is the Octopus tablet that we talk about and that we love and that our customers love, the passengers love. It's so much fun. And, I think it gets me bigger tips. But anyway, as part of the partnership, the Octopus tablets are going to display Uber's Journey TV rider experience whenever you're doing an Uber trip. So I guess it's going to have to hook into our Uber app somehow.
It's going to have to, yeah.
Because otherwise, it's not going to know. So anyway, when you're giving an Uber ride, it's going to show a live trip map with an ETA until the drop off. It's going to show personalized recommendations on restaurants near the trip destination, travel inspiration ideas, local activities to enjoy. It says as well as highly relevant video, interactive, and other ads driven by Uber's first-party data insights. Now, the restaurant stuff is great. We've talked about that. We've wondered whether they could ever incorporate that into that, because I've had passengers that have told me, they'd be like, "Oh man, does this thing have restaurant recommendations around here?" And so I think that part's going to be good. But as we know, these companies can take something that's really good and just screw it up.
Yeah, for sure. I did see we could advertise looking to join on the ride. We can click on there, submit the podcast. I wonder. I started going through it, and they're like, "What's your monthly budget?" I said $25, and I didn't get any further than that.
They dropped us.
They dropped us. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, so here's the problem. I'm wondering T-Mobile owns them. So I bet you Octopus didn't want to do this. I bet you they're like, we prefer not to. Maybe not. I don't know. But there must be a seriously amount of money, with T-Mobile owning them. Maybe they're like giving them a lot more money. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's just
as long as they keep paying us, the same amount, and the passengers find it just as enjoyable, because I know they like the games, and so I'm wondering if it's showing a map with their ETA. Is that going to interfere with the games, or how's it going to work? I'm kind of reserved my right or my opinion on it until I actually see it in action and know how it's all going to play out. Because if it's like a little corner of the screen, it's got the map or something like that,
fine.
I have no problem with that. But if it's taken over and they can't play the games anymore and things like that, I don't like that as much.
So the tablet right now, I mean, obviously we drive, so we don't know, what's on the back.
Mm-hmm.
Does it, if you continue to play, does it not show ads at all? Like if you keep...
No, it will show ads.
Regardless, if you, like, when you're done with the game, an ad will pop
it'll
up.
cycle through, because I'll have people like, hey, how do I get back to the games?
Okay. Okay.
But I think they're, that's part of it. They have to pay for it.
Yeah. So I can see some sort of like a third of the screen, the map, and then the games and stuff like that. Because if that's the case, then Uber will show their ad that's, for that person in that area, which would be fine as long as it doesn't affect the games.
Yeah, and they say in here, of course, this is coming from them, so it's obviously going to make it sound good. But it said advertisers and riders alike will benefit from the unique ride experience to date, because Uber has its own tablets out there and stuff like that. So it says to date, advertisements from Uber's own video screens have seen a 98% completion rate. In addition, riders are seeing value in these ads, with new research showing 74% of people express an interest in taking advantage of one of the offers displayed during a trip, and about 7 in 10 riders view the ads as an enhancement to their ride.
Then why partner with T-Mobile then?
They just want to get more screens, I guess.
I guess, because if your tablet's doing so great, which I literally know no one that has the Uber tablet.
I do not either.
Like, why would you? It pays like a half a cent. I mean, I don't know. It's something crazy.
And they've never offered it to me either.
No, me either. We're in a smaller market, both of us, but it's like, okay, your tablet's done such a great job, then why share the revenue with? But you're probably right. They're like, well, if we get 50% of the revenue, it's at least better than nothing. Yeah,
because it says here, the Octopus tablets, they're in over 50,000 vehicles in the United States. So.
Oh, wow. 50,000?
That's what it says. That says, expand Uber Journey TV offering to over 50,000 vehicles across the U.S.
Yeah. Honestly, I think I would do the Uber tablet, but I'd put it on the other side. I mean, you might as well if you get paid a little bit of money. You know what I mean? You can't get 2 Octopus tablets, so.
Yeah, but I mean, I think that's against TOS to have two tablets.
Who's TOS?
I think
Octopus or Uber's.
I think both. Yeah, or at least one of them. At least one of them it is. But yeah, I don't know how they're going to know.
Yeah, you probably can't sell your fucking side business in the car either, but everyone does it.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, anyways, us, we love Octopus. We'll just skip that ad tonight because we've kind of talked about it. Link is in the description if you want to download it. I mean, we got to deal with Uber with it, sounds like it, but as long as they keep the pay the same and people still love it, then you can put whatever you want on it.
Yeah, and it doesn't have a timeline on here. It doesn't say when they're going to roll this out or anything. So hopefully, we may have a while before we actually see this roll into action.
Octopus tablet is relatively transparent, so I would expect them to be somewhat honest on when it's happening and what's going to happen. So,
I'm sure they will. Yeah, they're always doing something fun too. I know they're having a special thing tomorrow where they're picking a certain amount of drivers and calling them, just like they did with you, and you win money. And if you answer the phone saying happy, what was it, Octoversary or something like that, you get an extra $25.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, thanks for telling me that, because I kind of breezed through it, but I missed that. I know it's their 6-year anniversary.
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah.
All right. Well, check them out. Link is in the description.
Merry Christmas! shitter was full.
All right, gig economy in the news. Uber spends millions on a Nevada ballot initiative that might slow sexual assault suits. Say that 10 times fast.
Man, that will get you. That's a tongue twister.
So obviously the gist of the story is they're getting sued. And so, this is what Uber does. And I'm actually kind of, it kind of bums me out a little bit. Mm-hmm. It's kind of shady what they're doing.
Yes,
so the
shady.
The layman's version of it is they are trying to cap the amount someone can that the lawyer can win in the state of Nevada in these suits. So normally it's 40 or 50% they get, but they're capping it. They're trying to. It's on the ballot to cap it at 20%. And so it's basically because they're getting sued left and right for, people having drivers, doing things to people. But they've spent $4 million to try to get this passed through. And as we know, they start throwing money around and shit happens. And it's just, I don't know.
Yeah, it really is disappointing because it just looks bad. Here they are, everyone knows, everybody reads the news, you see it happens. People, unfortunately there are some sketchy drivers out there that do things they shouldn't do. And Uber does face a lot of lawsuits, but instead of trying to fix the problem the right way, they're trying to make it where, if the lawyer's only going to get 20%, there's going to be a lot of lawyers who are like, that's not worth my time.
No,
I'm not going to take that case if I'm only getting 20%.
Well, especially the complex ones. If it's a class action, that's a lot of work.
Yes.
It's not just a one-off stuff like that. And
it's a ton of work.
And the problem is like, they realize, okay, if we can get Nevada to do it, then we can get California to do it, and then Michigan, and just like the Prop 22, and we're going to stop it here, which, again, we want that. I want that as far as prop. I don't want to, I think Larry's the same way. I don't want the government involved. I want to just stay exactly how it is. But, man, it's just, I know other companies do this. I get it, but, like, when it's this kind of thing, we're like, well, it's not that they, I'm sure they're not going around saying we don't care about sexual assault survivors and stuff like that, but it just doesn't look good. And I hope more people that are in the gig community or content creators are talking about this, because this is some absolute bullshit. So
definitely. Yeah. It just looks bad. It really, really looks bad.
But you know what? Money talks and bullshit walks. Unfortunately, if you got the money, you can fucking do whatever you want, which, I mean, if I had a lot of money, I would like that. But in the same token, I don't know. I always think about politics, right? Like, can you imagine me in politics? I say to myself, I would never do that. I would never do that. But I don't know if I'd ever get reelected after that. You know what I mean? I think you get elected and then you go in there and people are trying to buy you off and you say no. And then guess what?
Yeah.
You don't get elected again. But
yeah, I can see in politics. I mean, Jesse Ventura was, governor of Minnesota.
Yeah, he's kind of a kook.
Yes, that was very interesting when he was governor.
Yeah, he's kind of a kook. If you've heard him talk before, he's a little crazy. But
took one too many, power slams on the head back in his WWE days.
Can you imagine me being in Congress, walking in with my Lions hat, my big beard? I'm like, I'm not fucking doing my hair. I'm wearing a hat, bitch. Like, let's get some shit done.
Hey, you got that one guy that's wearing sweatpants or stuff to Congress now. They changed the dress code.
Who cares? Like, let's just work. We're here to work. That's pomp and circumstance. Like, not that I would respect the office, and if we were going to a dinner or whatever, I wouldn't wear. Sure. I would dress up and stuff. But if we're there to work, get me in my freaking sweats and t-shirt. Let's get
be comfortable and get the work done.
Yeah, like who wants to be in a fucking suit all day? Jeez.
We're gonna have the happiest Christmas since Bing Crosby tap danced with Danny fucking Kaye. And when Santa squeezes his fat white ass down that chimney tonight, he's gonna find the jolliest bunch of assholes this side of the nut house.
All right, gig economy in the news. I'm pretty excited to share this video. So Steve spams me all the time. He's not in here yet. I think he's still streaming.
We love Steve.
I love him, but he sends me the craziest shit. And so he does 13 minutes of news, I think once a week. So he literally will cut it at 13 minutes, and he's really, really good at it. And he sends me this. He goes, watch this. I was like, fuck, Steve. 13 minutes? You really want me to sit and watch a YouTube video for 13 minutes? Like undivided, like this. If he was streaming, I definitely would, because I'm doing other stuff, you know, and I actually enjoy watching streams when I'm doing other work. So I finally got around to watching it, and it's about some transparency laws that were launched in Colorado. Now, I'm going to save you the 13 minutes, and I edited it down to 2 minutes to the important part. But wait till you frickin' hear this. Like, when he definitely held the good shit till the end. He had to watch the whole thing, which is a professional move. I got to give him props for that.
It's not his first rodeo.
Not his first rodeo, no pun intended, or maybe pun intended. And so I'm going to play this and we're going to talk about it, because if this happens everywhere, the gig game is going to change. So we'll play that, and hopefully I didn't fuck up the edit. Here we go.
Here we are, June 5th, 2024. Governor Governor Jared Polis in Colorado signed into law 2 bills on June 5th. These are Stephanie Vihil's bills. They're just tweaked out now to meet those other demands above and a little bit more. So again, before I explain, let's give a kudos to Stephanie Vihil for all the work she did, but also to us, as she told me. She said, the country's never had a turnout of independent contractors like that. So how the two new separate Colorado laws work. SB 24075, that's the new law in Colorado. Transportation Network Transparency Bill requires rideshare companies show drivers and passengers how much driver and how much companies made, broke down into line items. So the customer sees it and the driver sees it. Also, that the drivers are shown complete transparency of pickup and drop-off locations and the complete pay before the driver accepts. Last, driver deactivations. This is covered. The new language says that the state will certify a driver support organization. So instead of it being the state, they will certify one. Now, for the food delivery side, House Bill 241129, Protection for Delivery Network Company Drivers Bill. Okay, guys, requires delivery companies show drivers and customers how much the driver and how much the company's made, same as the rideshare one. All delivery drivers will be given 60 seconds to decide on all platforms if it makes sense to them and they want it or not. And the delivery apps must now also provide an internal challenge deactivation button if you are deactivated, and you will go to the same driver support organization group. This week, we have Stephanie Vihil on the podcast, and we will be talking about this at much more length. That's 13 minutes of gig news in just over 13 minutes. Oh, peace, y'all.
So there it is. Now, I could be wrong, and maybe I missed it, but it sounds like so the biggest thing to me is the customer is going to see how much we make.
Mm-hmm.
That is fucking huge.
That's tremendous.
I mean,
it's such a game changer.
Well, it is. What I think what's going to happen is it's a lot of people, they'll be like, yeah, we don't care how much the driver gets paid, but they're going to see, holy shit, I'm paying $100 for this and driver's getting 25. Like, something's fucked up there. And it's only going to take a few people to start filing lawsuits saying this is not right. Like, regardless of what they're doing, they may do it just because they think they're getting ripped off, which in turn, I mean, maybe it could hurt us. I don't know, because then they're only charging the customer 40 and we're getting 4. I mean, I don't know, but I couldn't believe that is something that they passed, that like, that is such a transparent thing. And I think it's going to be great.
Yeah, because we've all had the people that we've talked with, passengers, that think, we get the whole thing.
Yeah.
They think we get whatever they paid. They think that's what we get, and we obviously know that's not even close to being true. And I think when people see that, it's going to surprise a lot of people. But like I said, there's a certain portion they don't care.
Well, yeah, and there's a certain, I mean, how many people actually look at the line item? Like, is it going to pop up when the ride is presented to, like, when they book the ride, is it going to pop up, or is it going to be on their receipt?
Probably the receipt.
Yeah.
Be my guess.
Right.
Yeah. Cause they would have to, I think they would make them do it then. But
Yeah,
interesting
so
to find out.
yeah, I mean, there's I can definitely see some benefits and some negatives. Like I said, if they could be like, well, we're not going to pay this much anymore, but is that going to affect us? Like, you know what I mean? If they all of a sudden have to slash rates, I mean, they're not going to take the hit on it. But like some of these gaps between what the customer paid and what I mean, you don't need that much fucking money. Like it's and some of them are okay, but it's just like, and then the what Steve talked about, the deactivation. I mean, on the driver's side, it sounds like there's going to be a board, like to kind of review those, which we talked about. Like we've been talking about this for a long time. Like we don't like the AB5, we don't like the Prop 22 model, but we want protection a little bit, and transparency. And I mean, Jesus, I can't believe those things got passed, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if Colorado becomes another
Minnesota. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think they will. I mean, this doesn't affect their money at all. It's just a transparency thing and the deactivations thing. But I mean, they don't want to deactivate people. They don't just, I mean, I think a lot of it is AI and does do some of it, but they want people on the road, I would assume. Like that, I mean, they're not deactivated happy, but I don't know. I don't think they'll pull out. I think they'll be frustrated with it, having to do it, but like it really doesn't affect their bottom dollar. Now, when they start getting lawsuits because people are like, you're overcharging us, this is absurd, then they might have a different thing to say.
It just affects their reputation more than the bottom line.
Yeah, so I'm really excited about this. Like, that's the legislation that I have, everybody, not just me and you, every creator or gig worker has just been saying, like, we just want people, we just want to know what we're getting into. And now the customer is going to know what we're getting paid, what everything is going down to the penny. So,
yeah, because they've made it so convoluted over the years.
Oh,
I mean, in the beginning, it was so simple. You knew you were getting 80% of whatever they paid, and then it was 75%. And then after that, okay, you're not getting a percentage, but you're making this much per mile and per minute. So you knew pretty close to what a ride was going to pay if you knew that, once you knew the distance.
So what do you think was the turning point for, I'm just going to focus on Uber because they were the first kind of gig company that they decided, what they were making wasn't enough. They want to make more money, so they start cutting rates. But even when they cut rates, at least we still had, you're making 20%, or you're making 80, we're taking 20, and that was still fine. I don't know if they were like, well, we're gonna go public, so we're gonna have to fucking do more shit, but we're gonna have to hide it. We're gonna have to make it look like, poor shit.
Yeah, and it's so weird because, like, I mean, I've mentioned it before. I still that way here. I know most places, like me and Gabe are both still per minute, but the large majority of markets, it's upfront pricing.
Right. Yeah.
That it's so hard to figure out sometimes when you're in the middle, especially if you've got another ride already in your car. You don't want to be messing with your phone when you got somebody, and it gets very convoluted.
Yeah. Bubba Sue says the investors want their money back. Yeah, but they started kind of doing this even before they went public. I mean, it could be it was a precursor to be like, okay, we're going to go public, so we better start cutting costs and stuff like that. Driven Dad said, I think their AI being fully implemented in the turning point. You mean AI for their algorithm, or in regards to what? AI for what?
I think that's what he's talking about.
Could be. I get it. I do not hate a business that's trying to cut costs and make money, but like when you literally you can't do anything without drivers, you're fucking them. You know what I mean? And the problem is like when the economy, like right now where everything's so expensive, there's people signing up left and right? Because they need to make a quick buck. So maybe that will always be that way, and so they just keep screwing the veterans and they quit, and they're like, all right, we got new blood. So I don't know, but either way, I'm excited about this. We'll see what happens. Good job on Stephanie that Steve talked about. And, Steve does a great job with all that law shit too. Like, I got to give him props as far as like pushing that shit out. Like, I don't know his involvement in the bill, but clearly he had a lot of conversations about it. And so kudos to him.
Yeah, he's very involved in the kind of political side of putting pressure on these companies.
Yeah, and he can, he start small in Colorado and go from there. But the problem is, like you said, with Minnesota, we're gonna get these patches of all these. Like, it's gonna be so fucking confusing to even talk about. And you're like, you know what? We're gonna talk about Michigan and Kentucky. Those are the only two states we know for sure because that's where we live.
Exactly.
Merry Christmas.
All right, moving forward. I don't understand this. It's a 36-second video, and this woman was delivering food, and apparently she had to piss. But we'll just watch it, and we'll discuss, because,
Discuss.
So she's going to deliver food, then she walks back, has to pee before she delivers it, drops trow, and takes a leak. Wow. And then she delivers the food. I didn't know there was music on that. We're going to get flagged for that one. I don't know. Anyways, yeah, so she basically walks up and has McDonald's, walks like she's going to deliver it, then walks back to the entrance. Now, this is kind of like outside apartments where like all the doors are accessible from the outside. You don't have to go into like a main door. And then decides she's got to pee, walks back, pees, grabs a bag and goes, finishes delivery. So I don't know why. I don't know why you had to go so bad and you couldn't just done the delivery and then, I don't know, gone to your car. Go do what the lady at Instacart does. She opens her doors, Gabe's new friend in his town at Costco.
Yeah. So here's the solution here. As we talked about before, that we need to come up with something that, that's similar to the Thirsty Goose, but for women. So obviously it would need to have a bigger mouth. So we need to have, instead of hungry hippo, the Thirsty Hippo. I think verbal trademark.
The Thirsty Hippo. Hi, Bubba Sue. Thanks for joining. My God. Yeah, I do feel bad for women, like I say this all the time, like they have it rough, but I can just think of some you would just slip on with a hose and you just stick the see you don't even need a Thirsty Hippo. You need a separate unit. Maybe it has a Velcro and it goes next to the Thirsty Goose and you pull that off and you put it on your, hoo-ha, and then it has a straw and you just put it into the hole. Larry's like, I ain't gonna touch that. Nah, good.
Moving on.
So yeah, just don't pee where you're delivering. What do they say? Don't shit where you work, or don't shit where you eat, or something like that. Yeah, don't shit where you eat. That's basically, she didn't shit, but she went number one. So
like that. Yeah, I mean, I understand if you got to go, you got to go, but first of all, look and see if there's a doorbell camera there.
Oh God, everything has cameras nowadays.
Everything has cameras. So just try to be a little discreet. Like you said, open your car door. Go behind a shed or something.
Right.
Not kind of out in the open.
Yeah. The only saving grace is if she had a longer coat on and was just squatting down, she probably could have got away with it if someone walked by. Us guys, it's pretty obvious what we're doing. You know what I mean? But at least a woman could have hide that she has her pants down.
Yeah.
Happy New Year!
I was going to give this one to Kim, but I didn't want her to make her feel uncomfortable. So,
whatever.
No, I'm just kidding.
I didn't look at it. But.
So there's a DoorDash, and they said, hey, man, they're out of KY warming lubricant. They also are out of the card you chose, and they are limited on other choices of Mother's Day cards. Response? Any Mother's Day card and any cheap lube. All righty then.
Hey,
Someone's going to have a good Mother's Day.
I mean,
that's Kentucky warming lubricant, right?
the what?
KY?
No.
Kentucky?
I think it's West Virginia. Oh, my gosh. That's crazy. Who How do you just write that as an adult? Like, yeah, any cheap lube. Like, what is happening in the world? Like, I mean, I understand that sometimes, just a little privacy. I don't know. I don't think I could ever order lube or like a dildo or something on an app.
I had to do a substitution for a vibrator once.
No,
I was at a Walgreens, and this is Uber Eats, and this is before Uber Eats actually had substitutions in the app. Like, you actually had to text or call the customer what substitution they wanted. And I had to go in there and like, oh great. I actually had to text the customer, hey, they're out of your personal item. What substitution do you want? And
Sure, just got some strange guy in the store and brought him along.
They were very specific. They I want this one in this color, and like they had it down to the T. And I'm like, oh, well, at least they knew what they wanted.
Well,
apparently.
Interesting enough, I didn't know Walgreens sells vibrators.
Where have you been?
Did they sell dildos too, or just vibrators?
Yes,
they sell
all
both?
the above. Yes.
What the fuck?
You're like, I need to get to Walgreens.
No,
I see lights going off in his eyes.
No, Kim, how dare you?
He's like, no, I don't have to wait for that Amazon 2-day delivery.
Oh no, I'd do 1 day for that.
The 1 hour delivery.
Right. Thanks for the super chat, Steve. Appreciate it. Josh had a shop that was condoms, lube, and a vibe. Oh my god. Well, wait. Why do you need Okay, I'm not even gonna say. It was a hand to a customer, and the customer had to be like 17. No. No. How awkward was that?
But don't you guys get these? Like, I can always tell it's the weekend before Valentine's Day because the shop and delivers that you get for Walgreens and Rite Aids and CVS's all have these items in them. Like, oh, it's Valentine's Day.
Well, oh my god, this be a topic for another show. But like, what? Why is if it's Valentine's Day, are you ordering a vibe? Oh, because you're alone and Oh, okay. I get it now. I mean, I'm a man and I have a hand, so I guess I never would think about that. But I guess I didn't understand why they would order it. But yeah, okay. I did not know that they carried that stuff. I'll be honest with you.
Now you can go looking the next time you're in one. Just check it out.
Nope. Not gonna do that.
Just go up to the counter and ask.
Right. Oh gosh. That's one thing I'm okay with though. Like my daughter and my wife, I'll go buy tampons. That doesn't bother me.
Well, yeah, I've got 5 sisters. There's no telling how many times I've been this. I mean, I don't understand why people are, because I mean, it's obviously not for me.
Yeah,
why are people embarrassed about buying that?
And honestly,
that doesn't make any sense.
Women have it the worst, anyways. They have periods. They have to have the children. They have all these hormones. Like, that's the least we can do is to go pick up tampons for our ladies. Sure. So anyone that's hearing this,
look at you.
It's true though. It's true. They have it the worst. I feel so bad with my wife when she has her period. Like, she's fucking miserable. You know what I mean? It's so bad. Like, I feel so bad. But Josh said those are some of my favorite shops. I just get to laugh so hard. This person is about to get the business. I don't know. I thought that was so funny.
Look at the last one.
Oh, how to hand a customer a vibe. I would just say I would just go with it and say they were out of bags and hand it to you. And then, like, if it was that 17-year-old kid, he opens the door and I'm like, "Hey, sir, here's your lube and vibrator." And mom's like, "What?" This podcast is produced and edited by Hey Guys Media Group. Want to start a podcast? Check out heyguysmediagroup.com.